The Haze Hour is sponsored by Janty, pioneers in e-cigs.
So there, hello. If you're watching live, you know we're here. If you're watching after the event on catch-up, whether it be video on demand or YouTube or the podcasts or any of the very many ways that you can see us, hello and good evening. I'm Dave.
Good evening, Keith.
Good evening, Keith.
Well, Keith, good evening.
No,
Whatever
you were Keith, I'm Dave.
I know, yes.
Well, why did you say good evening, Keith, to me? All right, you just missed the arm out.
Still the brandy?
Is that what it is?
I think so.
It's amazing stuff, brandy. I love brandy. Brandy and Coke, it's very nice.
Never had it.
Haven't you?
No.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing. It's all good stuff. I'd better tell people what we're going to be talking about.
I think so, yes.
Keith's got the devices that he took away on holiday with him. And apparently he's been quite pleased. We're going to be looking at, well, I'm not going to be looking at, but we have a guest, a somewhat ghostly and vampiric guest, looking at the BIM. I shall be looking at the Ego Mega, which has quite pleased me, I have to say. And then a superstar in Super 7, in the third segment of tonight's show, is going to be showing you how to re-wick a Vivi Nove with mesh. I've watched this. It's fascinating. You'll love it, Keith.
It sounds technical.
It'll be an early night for you.
Right, I look forward to that.
Shall I play the music loud for you tonight?
If you want to, I'm oblivious to it.
You're going to bang your head? Bang your heads for the Haze Hour, honey.
Calm down.
Well, I like it.
What? Yeah, I know you do.
It's all good. Anyway, how was Spain?
Very nice. Weather obviously a little bit cooler than in the summer, but
I thought you were going to say
pleasant.
cooler than here, because that's just not possible.
Well, it was apparently a dreadful week here.
We had snow.
Yes, well, I discovered that when we got back to Newcastle Airport.
There was that much.
There were little clumps of snow.
There was that much, which is what I tell my wife is 3 inches.
Right.
There was 3 inches of snow. Ladies,
Yeah.
3 inches. 3 inches.
Got into the house and it was 7 degrees in the house.
Oh, that's no good, is it?
You know, picked up a spoon and it was ice cold, that sort of thing.
Oh, you don't want to be picking spoons
So
up.
it took the next day to get the house warm.
Did the servants not pick the spoons up for you?
They didn't.
Oh.
No, I thought you would have popped in and warmed the spoons.
Well, I did, but I didn't. Never mind.
No, we won't go there.
We'll not go there.
Right.
So how did you get on with the Ego twist that I loaned you?
Very well indeed. I don't know, a completely different experience.
Really? In what way?
A stronger, easier draw. I don't know, really. Very good, I found it.
And
So
did you
using that and then using the Tornado, completely different.
Right. Is that with the same device on top or with different devices?
With different devices.
Ah, right. I see.
Yes.
I understand. So did you twist its bottom around a bit and fiddle about with the voltage and stuff over there to get a better throat hit? Not that you like throat hit, of course.
No, I just left that. I was quite happy with the way it was set, and the setting wasn't disturbed on the journey or anything of that kind.
And how did you cope going through customs at was it Novo Castrium Airport you went out of, Newcastle?
Yes.
Did you get frisked?
Yes, but I didn't have these on me
Oh, where were they?
in the case.
Really?
Yes. I put them in a tin box in the case.
Uh-huh.
The juices, the devices.
So you didn't
etc.
take anything onto the plane with you?
I didn't. No.
Boy, you're a stout fella. I mean,
No. I went the... mind, I sort of ran out of the airport after I picked up my case.
I bet you did.
Couldn't wait.
Oh, you say you should have... Did you not have a top pocket?
I didn't, funnily enough. No,
Oh.
I had a T-shirt on. But,
See, that's you should have had a top pocket,
yeah.
and then you could have had it in the top pocket.
So when I opened the tin, everything was, you know, I'd expected some sort of leakage, but
No leakage.
no, none at all.
Excellent stuff.
And-
And I mean, in the hot weather on the Vision Ego, any leakage out of that?
None whatsoever.
How much juice did you get through? I'm fascinated by all of this. I am absolutely fascinated.
I never really calculated that. I took a couple of half bottles with me.
So that would be the equivalent of a full bottle. 50 mils for
Yeah,
a week. Boy, you're getting daring.
RY4 and RY High 5.
Good man, it's what we like to hear.
And there was still some in the bottles when I got back.
Excellent.
Yes. So,
And did you get forced onto the fags at any point? They're going to want to know.
I had a fag after me dinner at night.
Did
and
you?
After me breakfast. That's a routine I can't get out of.
That's fair enough.
But apart from that, as you know, Spain's much more informal when it comes to smoking.
They don't take any notice of the
So
World Health
sitting out on a
Organisation,
morning, you know, with a brandy and a coffee in the local bar, and it's very nice.
Do you know that's the three best things in life?
What?
A brandy before and a nice vape after.
Yes.
That's what I think.
No questions asked.
And we should point out, as I have just noticed, say happy birthday, Pertilla.
Right.
It's Pertilla's birthday. Happy birthday, Pertilla. If there's two L's, that would be Pertilla, like tortilla. No?
No.
No, probably not.
No.
We'd better blast on with the show, I suppose.
Yes.
And we have some Vido. Everybody knows Sav. She's lovely as Sav. Can you remember a couple of weeks or 3 weeks ago I looked at the BIM?
Yes.
The rebuildable that I said you'd be able to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Sav got one.
All right.
We'll show the video, shall we?
Yeah.
Here she comes. Sav, are you ready, pet? Here she's coming.
Hi. I'm going to do a quick video, possibly a series of videos, on my hopefully easy journey into the world of rebuildable atomizers. I've avoided rebuildable atomizers for as long as I could possibly do so. But I finally, after seeing this one on the Haze Hour a couple of weeks ago, this is the BIM, I thought that looks simple enough for even me. The reason I've avoided them is I don't like faff. I think a lot of you will already know that. My daily setup is a Darwin, which is plugged in via USB when I'm in front of my computer, and generally fully charged at all times. My gooseneck, never without my gooseneck on the Darwin. It's generally an eye mist on the top, dripping when I'm in the house, and I'll stick the tank in when I'm out and about. Simple. Occasionally I use the DC with a 306 again for dripping when I'm in the house. But all as faff free as I can get it. I don't charge batteries, I don't do anything. If it doesn't get charged by USB, it doesn't get charged after the initial charge in my house. So, rebuildable atomizers was like, really? I could not be bothered with that. But I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. So, we went for the BIM. I'll do a a video close up of what you get in the kit, which Dave's already covered most of it. But I've had this for about a week. Still on the first coil, which is good. One thing I will say is the flavour is lovely. But I'm dreading what's going to come next. And that is making my own coils. Well, I'm saying I'm dreading making my own coils. Luckily with the BIM it comes with 3 pre-made coils. So, on the next stage of this little video, well, I'm not sure when it'll be done, probably tomorrow, because I got a feeling after I had a disaster with a juice that should never ever be tasted, it's gonna need replaced. But this is sort of just a little short diary of how we're getting on. So far so good, but there wasn't really a lot wrong as I haven't really done anything to it. I'll show you what's in the box and then we'll see where we'll go from there. Ta-da for now. Okay, just going to do a quick look at what's in the box of the BIM. Pre-coiled wicks. Get 3 of those. Some wire. Some wick. Spare O-rings. And the BIM itself with plastic drip tip and a lovely metal drip tip and the sort of a plinth thing to cover, make it sit on certain devices, and your certificate. So that's the contents of the kit. And this is the BIM taken apart. As I said, I have been using this for a little bit, but as Dave already showed you, we've got 3 bits. This is the important bit, and it looks relatively simple for me. Excuse the camera quality, hopefully I'll be able to get some better shots of it. But I'm sure when it comes to figuring it out, putting it together, doing whatever it requires to be done, I'm sure, I'm positive, almost, that I can do this. But I have bought my kit of tools to make this job easier. And here's my little kit of tools. If I can't figure out how to put it together, with my mini screwdrivers, I've got whatever that is, I'm guessing screwdriver, I don't know what these bits are for, I ain't got a clue. I know what them bits are and I know what that bit is. These, just to fill a hole in the box, and them. Again, nah. These are the bit. Little screws require little screwdrivers. I shall update you when it comes to replacing the wick and the coil. So far, it's doing canny. off now.
That's a bit of a tease, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yes.
Got all the tools
that
out
was
there.
really impressive toolkit, that.
Really?
Oh, I thought so.
Be getting one for
And
Vicky for
no,
Christmas.
I
then?
got that one last Christmas, something like that.
Did you?
Yeah. It's been well used.
Was it?
I don't think that one had.
Doesn't look as though it's been used at all. Yes. Well, there's going to be some re-wicking done on that bin,
Right.
which I'm looking forward to seeing.
No,
And
I
it,
thought I would have seen that tonight.
Well, it's possible.
Well, I think she's very brave.
Oh, she's
But
definitely
of course,
that.
women are more dexterous, aren't they, than us sort of male.
You mean better with their hands?
Yes.
It's not been my experience.
Oh, God.
Oh, sorry. Right, yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, aye.
Okay.
Well, no, I mean, they're
Yeah.
brilliant. They can do washing up. They can do ironing. They can do darning. All sorts of stuff like that. They're brilliant. Aren't they?
Crocheting,
Yeah,
knitting.
yeah.
All these things.
Oh, yes. Yes.
No, I look forward to seeing that.
We'll just lean back and wait to
I,
get shot by Captain, shall we?
I admire that. Well,
No, I've got. There is a second part to that will come in next week.
I can't wait.
I'm going to keep people hanging.
And she's going to use those tools.
Oh yes.
Right.
Oh yes.
Right.
See, when I was a lad, I was brought up to understand that any job you needed to do, you could do with a kitchen knife.
Right.
You know,
All right.
screwing, unscrewing, cutting things, chopping things. My dad did everything with a kitchen knife.
Did he?
Well, they had to pull the house down, but yeah, he did.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know. Shot her a probe.
No, that was good. That you've got to admire that.
Well, I kind of like her approach to it.
Yes.
And I know she's enjoying it because every time I've spoken to her over the last week, she's had it on the go. And I know it's still working, so next week, you'll have to wait till next week. It's a
No,
little
I
bit
think
of a
it's
tease.
right that it should be in episodes, yes.
Oh, without a doubt. An ongoing series.
Right.
And we might have a
Won't end up like Coronation
Well, no,
Street,
it'll not be a soap. What we'll do is we'll run a competition on it. And the winner will get Sav to make coils for the winner for a full year. I haven't asked her yet, but I think that would be a brilliant prize. I'm just looking in chat now to see whether they would like that, would they? Oh, I see. Viking Vapor saying not with ceramic knives, and Sav's going, oh God, no. Yeah, I love it when I do things like that. Sav would love it, sitting winding coils and re-wicking things for everybody.
It
It
would
would
make
be-
a sort of profession of that, couldn't you, really?
Oh, well, hey, I tell you what, I mean, honestly, seriously, and in all seriousness now, I do know that there are folks that have difficulty winding coils. It's not massively difficult, it has to be said, but there's folks that do have a challenge with it, and you can understand why. And I think if somebody was to sit and just make coils at specific resistances for such as the BIM, correctly spaced and everything like that, they'd sell them on piece.
Yes.
2 shillings each,
2 shillings each, right?
something like that. That would be
Right.
fair, I think. Of course it would.
That's 10 pence, isn't it?
It is, yes. In dismal money.
Yes.
In dismal money. That's exactly what it is. Marmite. Somebody's mentioned Marmite. Somebody's mentioned Marmite in chat.
What's my mind? Right.
I've no idea why they've mentioned Marmite. I'm not going to read it, because if I read it, I'll just get distracted.
Right.
So what I'll do, I've had an idea. We'll take some adverts, and then I can read in chat and find out what the Marmite thing's about.
Right.
How's that straight you?
Good idea.
I thought so. I've got to press the right button now, and I can't remember which one it is. Yes, I can. It's that one. We'll take the adverts. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
The Haze Hour is brought to you by Janty, pioneers in electronic smoking. iVapor and iVapor Elixir, based in Yorkshire, for your e-cig needs. That's ivapor.co.uk and ivapor-elixir.co.uk. iVapor and ivapor-elixir.co.uk, proud sponsors of vaportrails.tv. And now back to the Haze Hour, sponsored by Janty.
Yes, we're back. And I was reading the chat. They're talking about kiwis, both fruit and the people, and Marmite. Ceramic knives and...
Right.
But I don't know. You know how occasionally my mind goes a little bit random?
Yes.
Apparently it's catching. So,
Marmite ceramic knife.
yeah, kiwi Marmite, which apparently is as rare as hen's teeth, it says here, according to Tracy Collins, that is. Viking Vapor has come up with a little proverb. And he said, befriend a blacksmith and never have a blunt knife again.
Right. Quite profound.
Very profound. Profound that. That's
Yes.
profound that. Very profound. And Moonlit, I like it. Moonlit said, take a random stab at the keyboard. Live shows are best directed that way. That's basically what's happening tonight. I know roughly where I'm going.
Oh, you pressed the right keys up to now.
Well, I just couldn't remember what number I'd put it on. This is all in an attempt to be professional and stuff like that.
It's age, that, you know, age related.
It is, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Yes.
While you were away, he said, dragging the show back on course,
Right.
as you do, how did you go about with charging your tornadoes and your ego twist?
Well, the room we had was very badly equipped.
Was it?
For sockets.
Right.
So I was, the only socket that was available to use was in the bathroom. And, you know, hair dryers and God knows what else. Not that I use a hair dryer.
I was going to say that would be over.
Right, don't go there.
It's all right. I'm in the same boat. Look.
I was plugging it into the bathroom. In the socket.
In the shaver socket?
No, it was a conventional socket. You could boil a kettle.
In the bathroom?
Yes.
Good grief. They're trying to kill
So
you.
I was just using the adapter and plugging it in the bathroom.
Oh, right.
Overnight.
So how often did you have to charge your batteries?
Every other night.
Is that like just the one every other night?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And again, because I've got to keep reminding myself of this, with your ordinary tornado,
Yes.
right, how often, if you were just using that, how long would that go before you needed to charge it?
I don't know, because I just automatically charge it every night.
You just stick it on a night?
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And next morning it's the green light's on
And that's it?
yes.
Right.
So, you know, I've got into a routine.
There's kind of a method in me madness of asking the question.
I thought there would be.
Well,
yes.
you know me. It's just, the thing about it is, of course, is that with something like an ego or a tornado,
Yes.
at the standard sizes, the 650 milliamp hours and the 900 milliamp hours stroke 1000 milliamp hours, which were the standard for donkey's ages,
Right.
before the likes of this beastie here has come out. That one there, he said, hiding the others quickly. This is you've missed this one. I covered it last week while you were away. This is the Vision Spinner,
Right.
which is like an ego twist, only this one's bigger. It's 1300 milliamp hours.
Right.
And I ought really to kind of catch people up. I looked at them a week or two ago, And I'm here to tell you that the 1300 milliamp hours that's claimed for the fatter one has to be right.
Right.
It has to be right. Because that and the little blue one, which was a 900 milliamp hour, that gives you 2200 milliamp hours, and that got me through a full day when I drove down to Sheffield on Friday and back.
Right.
And I was down there. We were down there for a particular purpose, which I don't really want to go into. But the 900 and the 1300 together got me through a full day. Admittedly, I was in company and I was in one or two places where it just wouldn't have been right to use. But yes, so they're definitely worthwhile. But
slightly fatter, yeah.
It's quite a bit fatter, yes. Yeah. But there's an even bigger version now.
Right.
Not a twist. It's called the Ego Mega, and I think it's as well that we hand it across to my brother. No, he's not really. We'll hand it over to me in the research studio. And here I am, sat like a little blue boy in a little blue room, looking at a little blue mod. And here is said little blue mod. Actually, it's not that little. You will see, though, that it does have the logo there that says Ego T. Ego T upgrade, actually. And the words that everybody looks for, Joyetech. This has come to me from Sav and Doug, and it is a rather pleasant piece of kit that has a dual use, if you like. Now, if you were to look at a normal Ego, let's say this one, which is an Ego twist, you will see that there is one hell of a difference in size. And the reason for that is that this Mega Ego T upgrade will take an 18650, and in this case, as you might guess, I'm going to use a CGR 18650CH, my current favourite. It drops in, one screws on the lid, and you will see little flashy lights on the button, and you will see on the button when I press it that it is white. And in white mode, it's regulated as you would expect for an Ego. However, it can be changed. But first, let's look at it in regulated mode. I mean, it's an Ego that takes an 18650. Nice top cap, full Ego threading, everything you would expect, and in fact, it will take anything with an Ego thread. In this case, a Vision Ego. How appropriate is that? Let's give it a torque, make sure it's all right. This is in regulated mode. And it works perfectly nicely. But there's a secret. And the secret is usual 5-click turning off. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we get the little flashy lights that tell us it's on. Off, rather. And then if you hold the button down for 5 seconds, at the end of the 5 seconds you will see 3 flashes. This time in orange. And that takes it into fresh battery mode, for want of a better term. In other words, it's going to work as though the battery had just been charged, so there is no regulation. Let's have another blast. Turn it on first. Ha! Click it 5 times. What an idiot. And there is a definite difference in performance. Now, of course, that difference in performance is only going to apply for as long as the battery is actually at above 3.4 volts, which frankly it ought to be. Let's just knock it into standby mode again with 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's flashing, and as you can see it's amber. If I now hold it down for another 5 seconds, which is what I'm doing, it will start flashing white. As you can see, I want to press the button, nothing. Press it 5 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That switches it back on, and then you'll hear a gurgle. Now, as it happens, I kind of like this particular Vision Ego at 3.3, 3.4, whatever it is you think that an ordinary Ego runs at. So bumping it up into what is effectively 4.2 volts because the battery is freshly charged doesn't make a fat lot of difference for me. However, if you like the taste of a 4.2 volt battery that gradually tapers off as you go, then that'll suit you down to the ground. Let's just run through how dropping it between the two modes works one more time. So here we have it, and it is currently, as you will doubtless be aware, it's got a white LED, therefore it's in regulated mode. White equals regulated. So we switch it off with 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get the flashes, and then we hold it down for 5 seconds or so, and then you will see an amber light, and there it is. 3 amber flashes, and then to turn it back on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll see that the light is now amber. That means when you press it, it's in 4.2 volt mode, and you will have heard that the hiss is slightly louder. To get it back into regulated mode, we put it to sleep again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 presses, still in amber, and then hold down the button for 5 seconds. And at the end of 5 seconds, 3 white flashes, and that's it. It's now in regulated mode. Turn it back on with 5 presses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And off you go. You're ready to go. Now, I've got a blue one here. I know it's blue because I've been told it's blue by 2 people. 2, count them, 1, 2. So yes, it's blue, and I'm told it matches my eyes. What I do know is that the placement of this button is such that, in all honesty, even if you didn't switch it off, you would have a great deal of difficulty, I think, in getting it to fire in your pocket. But the 5 presses, very, very handy to have. And now it's switched off, switch it on again. Yes, I switched it off. Who miscounted? What a silly boy I am. I quite like this, and if you're looking for something that's going to last you a little bit longer, if a 650 milliamp or an 1100 milliamp or a 1300 milliamp hour standard Ego battery is not going to do the job, then this might well. Certainly with a 2250 milliamp hour Panasonic GCR18 650CH shoved in the tube, it would do the job, I think, for a lot of people for a long time. Yes, that Vision Ego is working nicely. One last look and then I shall disappear. An 18650 Ego from Joyetech. This one has come from e-cigs. The Ego T upgrade. Nice. I'll give you price and details back in the studio, which is where we're going now. Cheery bye. And indeed we have.
Yes.
Come back to the studio. It's a big thing, and folks will not be able to see it because it's blue and we're against a blue background. So it's the incredible disappearing battery holder at the minute.
Does it come in different colours, or?
Yes, you can get it in black. You can get it in all sorts of colours. In fact, you can get it in where are we? Brown. You get it in brown. You can get it in black. If I put it in front of me, it's black. Or you can get it in brown. It's talking about giving it away. Now I was noticing while that video was playing in that there was some chatter about the button on this, about how the button lets it down. I have to say I've been giving this quite a lot of rice over the last week, because I've found it to be absolutely cracking for the VH Genesis mini did clone that I've been messing about with as much, and I'll take it off the GG. If it'll come off the G, it will come off the GG, and it's working very nicely on there. So I have been using it quite a lot while I've been sat watching the telly, you know, as you do. And it's because I tend to be left-handed a lot of the time with these things. It just fits under the thumb nicely while I've got the wick on the bottom.
Yes. Because
as anybody that's been using one of these VH Genesises will know, occasionally you need to feed some juice down onto it. Handy hint there. And it hasn't let me down. There you are, Mr. Left-handed man. Have a go. If you got your thumb on it.
Ah, well, you see, funnily enough, I use my right hand, although I'm left-handed.
But you are cuddy wifter.
Yes.
Oh, well, you can curl your finger around and do it that way then. And it works. So far,
quite comfortable.
Yeah, it's all right, isn't it? You know, I mean, it's however many milliamps are in the battery that you slide into it, but it's canny. I'm not sure what the pricing is. I went to check. You know how you do. You kind of think, I'll go and check at the time, and then you get it right. I kind of find it on the site because I'm an idiot. But Daz is kicking about, so I've got no doubt that he'll come back and tell us what it costs. He'll type that into chat, and when I see him do that, I shall shout out. But yes, I've had no problems with the switch. I've had no problems using it in any way, shape or form. It's been absolutely fine, and I quite like that. Quite like that. It's good stuff. Actually, I think my chat's probably frozen. I'll refresh it and we'll see what happens. And looking at the time, we'll go into the second advert, and then we're going to hit this Vivi mesh, the Vivi Nove with a mesh wick. You'll love that.
Yes, it sounds like that.
Oh,
yes.
it'll be brilliant for you. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Enjoy. The Haze Hour is brought to you by Janty, pioneers in electronic smoking. And now back to the Haze Hour, sponsored by Janty. And we're back in the room, and thank you, Daz from e-cigs, for coming back so promptly to remind me that the Ego Mega is £22 complete with battery. C stroke W battery, that's what he says. 22 quid. It's not a bad price, and that's pretty good. I should also point out our chat, which is the best chat on the planet, on the face of the known universe, in fact. They're discussing things like warranties and switches and stuff like that. And I think within the next 3 or 4 weeks, we might have a bit about warranties on VT Talk, which happens on a Wednesday night, you know. And we'll have a little bit natter about what the UK situation is with warranties, because there's quite a lot of chatter going on about that in the chat room. And that's, you know, that's all to the good. Consumer protection, all for that.
Because there's never been any discussion on that, has there?
Well, we've had little bits now and then, but nothing in any great depth.
Yes.
And I think there are some misconceptions. So I might try and get hold of a trading standards person to come in and sit down and have a natter about it. And then we'll get it straight from the horse's mouth, as it were.
Yeah.
Because those guys are supposed to know. And I've got 1 or 2 contacts in trading standards.
Right.
So I used to do forensic work for them, you know.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. Hacking computers, in other words.
Right.
Not that I was ever a hacker. I was never a hacker.
Of course not.
Never a hacker. People are stamping their feet in chat, wanting to hear how you use mesh wick with the Vivi Nove. And I know you've been chomping at the bit to hear about this, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
It's right up your street, this.
I bet it is, yes. Right, I'll mesmerise me.
It's fascinated me.
Right, well.
Are you ready?
I am.
Are you sure?
Braced, yes.
Braced and ready?
Yes.
Hey, this actually is brilliant. It's a viewer submitted video, and we want more of them. And it's brilliant. I love this, because this is real people doing real things the way they do them, and I love the idea of being able to share that with folks. So here it is, Super 7, Doug Phillips, as ever was, Superman, I'm calling him now, because I would never have thought of doing this. And this is how, we're calling it shoow-how, not know-how, shoow-how. And he's going to show you how he mesh wicks a Vivi Nove. It's brill.
Hello! Right, what I'm going to do in this video is show you how to make a stainless steel mesh wick for a Vivi Nove. Same applies to the Mini, and also the same theory applies to one of these, which is a Vision or a Stardust. These are slightly different, and I'll explain the difference later on. Why use one of these mesh wicks? You get much better flavour than you do from the standard wick. They last longer. Normally I change glass fibre wick every couple of days. This one's been going over a week. In fact, clean it a couple of times, just run it under some cold water, and then with a little torch just burn it off. And it's been great. And as I say, the flavour really did amaze me with these. So I'll take a quick puff on it, and then I'll show you how you make one. Great stuff. Let's get to work. Okay, so first thing is we've got to take the head apart. Take the cap off. Now I've seen lots of things where people poking things down inside here and mucking about. Much easier way to do it. There's a little hole there. So just pop that in, bend it, get your fingernail underneath. Oh, both of them have come out. Normally that bit just comes out first, and then normally the little piece of rubber you have to just pull out there. But there we go. Those came out first time. Great stuff. Okay, so next we need to make our mesh wick. The actual dimensions for this about 20mm that way, and just over 65mm that way. Now a lot of people I've seen roll these with paper clips, syringes. Being the fact that I used to smoke roll-ups, I just roll it up like I used to roll a cigarette. Just like that. And then all you need to do is just start rolling it. And the more pressure you put on, the smaller and tighter it gets. You don't want to see me doing that. That's going to take a couple of minutes. So in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one I created earlier. Now you do have to really get these down quite tight, and what I suggest you do is keep your head by close to hand, and every once in a while just try slotting it in. Okay, now it doesn't want to be too tight. If it's too tight, by the time you've oxidised it and then you have to then push it and wedge it in, you're going to actually remove the oxidisation, so you're going to get short. So it just needs to be just loose enough. Once you've done that and you've got it the right size, you're going to need to oxidise it. You've seen that done before, so I'm not going to show you or bore that with you now. I find the best thing to do, we've got a gas cooker, and I use a gas cooker. But once you've done that, you should end up with a nice oxidised mesh like that. And there's before and after. One thing I will say, and I mentioned this earlier on, was about a difference with these. And the actual difference is the little slot that you need to slide the wick down. Can you just see that there? If you put them together, they actually look identical, but with a pair of digital calipers I've measured them and there is a difference. These ones are slightly smaller for the Visions. If you want to get technical, I've measured these at 1.44mm, whereas the Nove heads 1.5mm. So you have to make them slightly, you have to roll them a lot tighter to go with the Visions. But anyway, that's the major difference. Okay, so you've all seen people wind coils, so I'm not going to show that to you now. I already have one done here. Okay, I doubt the camera's going to focus. Oh, it will. There we go, you can just see it there. So the next thing we need to do is to get this in the head. Now, what normally happens is, as you can see here, the wires fray out, and then you're trying to get these wires in, and it's all gets stuck because there seems to be a ridge in there, and it's all very difficult. So I've got a solution to this problem. Pop that down a moment. These are little plastic disposable pipettes. Well, that's quite ganky actually, isn't it? Anyway, what I do, cut the top off of one of these. Okay, and you end up with just that little part. Now my trick is, and this makes life a lot easier, is to poke that through the atomizer head, grab your coil, and then it's easy just to poke one end in and then the other, and slide it all the way in. Dead simple. Makes life so much easier. Then all we have to do is just start putting this back together again. So we just hook on the rubber, this little rubber insulator, and of course when you're doing it on camera it's not going to work, is it? There we go. And what I like to do is just give it a little tug, just to make sure and the camera's decided to go completely out of focus, just to make sure that it's right down, sitting in the bottom of that slot. And all we need to do is get the little positive bit and just push that in like that, and then make sure that that's nice and tight as well. And there we go. Okay, what we'll do is just check the resistance. 2.5, wandering a bit, about 2.5. If I knock one off, because that's what my leads get, so we got about 2.4. Lovely. All we've got to do is now cut off the wires. Okay, just one little check that I like to make, that I've actually got that the coil that's inside is nice dead centre. You don't want it touching either the sides inside, and that I've got the actual head. Oops, gone out of focus. Come back, all is forgiven. There we go. The actual head is in the middle. Now I have a little thing down here that I've marked out, and if I just offer it up by eye, I can see that's correct, and that is about 29 mil. So what I like to do at this point is I actually like to just pop. It's gone out of focus again. Just pop the head on, and just that little bit of pressure does tend to stop that sliding about. Okay, next thing. A lot of people you see in these videos will have made this wick using a bent paper clip. Couldn't get on with that at all. And also, the problem is, once you've done it with a paper clip, there's not that much room. If you put a paper clip in there and wobble it from side to side in that gap, you're going to end up with a wick that's really too fat. So I just couldn't get on with that. So what I do is I just roll mine straight like this. And now I've seen videos where people just bend them over. But what that does flatten it out. So my little trick is this. This is a 2 mil drill bit. Just normal drill bit. And all I do is just put the drill bit underneath the head, and then just give it a little bit of a bend. Not too much. And it just gives it a little bend. So I'll do that again. Hopefully the camera might stay in focus this time. Not easy to do and show at the same time. But you can see I've just got a little bend there now. And the drill bit just helps it from completely kinking and impeding the flow of the juice. All we've got to do now is test it out and give it a vape. Okay, so we've now got the head on. Now you may find you may need to snip the ends off this wick slightly, and you want it just long enough so it hits. Can you see that? Hits against the thread, and what you do is lift it forward and then pop it in, and it hooks into that little well, and that allows you to get every drop of juice from the bottom of that well. Okay, so what we need to now do is just reassemble. I'm actually going to put it on this old lava tube. go. Drop of the old RY4. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. Can you see? Yeah, you can. The head in there. And what I like to do is when I'm putting juice in, and this is upside down, but just flow a bit over the wicks. Okay, so most probably out of shot. Just over the wicks, just to help it. I'm always impatient. Don't want to wait a couple of minutes for it to start wicking. Just put a little drop in, just in case we don't have any problems. Screw the top back on. Just give it a roll. Oh, a loop. Okay, just give it a roll to get that juice in there. Harks back to my fiberglass wick days. And we are all done. Let's see how it vapes. Okay, so that's how I put the heads together. You may do something different. You can, mix and match, whatever really works for you. But that works for me. Anyway, the main point in all of this: how does it vape? Great stuff. Anyway, hope you find it useful. Happy vaping.
And there you go. That was Super 7. Did that off his own bat. And if anybody else has got hints and kinks like that, please, please, please do them on video. I've been reading the chat, and Gary Wood seems as though he's got a few hints and kinks. Gary, any chance? There you go. And I see one or two other people are thinking about doing videos as well. That would be absolutely brilliant if you would do that. We're going to call the segment Shoow-how, and I really do want viewers to send in their videos with their tips, and we'll get Keith doing some of them as well.
Yes, the mind boggles.
It doesn't indeed. It boggles like a boggly thing. Thanks for that, Super 7. That was brilliant. Thanks, Doug. And I'll be trying it as well, and I noticed from chat one or two other people will be as well. And I think Kat's going to start shouting at me in a minute. Are you, Chris?
I'm shouting.
She's shouting. I thought she might be. So we'll start the credits rolling. The hour's flown again, hasn't it, Keith?
It always does.
It's lovely to have you back, though, bud. I've missed you.
Oh, have you already?
I have.
That bring tears to my eyes.
I know. But that'll be the smell off my feet. That's what's doing that. Thanks to Kat for doing production for us tonight. Thanks to Super 7, to Sav, to Keith, and to everybody for watching. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you next week. Tune in on Sunday for Dave Kitson. Until we see you next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
The Haze Hour was sponsored by Janty, pioneers in electronic cigarettes.